Warriors, The Ultimate Guide, updated and expanded with all new art, by Aaron Hunter, illustrated by Owen Richardson. Introduction. There were 4 clans that lived in a forest. Each clan defended a territory that best suited its hunting skills. Fleet-footed rabbit chasers lived in the moor below broad open skies. Glossy-fed cats who were happy to get their paws wet in search of fish settled beside the river. Stockers of mice and squirrels made their home among dense trees and tangled undergrowth. And bold, cunning cats who had a taste for frogs patrolled the marshes fringed by brittle pine trees. But no, there were originally 5 clans. One clan was forced out when Two Legs took over its territory. That clan, the Tree Hunters, created a new home far, far away in the sandy gorge. And before those 5 clans, there was a community of cats living deep in the mountains, beneath an endlessly tumbling waterfall. These cats had left their home beside a lake after a hard-won decision to find somewhere else to live, free from the starvation that plagued them as they competed with badgers, foxes, and eagles for ever-decreasing prey. Those 4 clans that lived in the forest, they ended up beside the very same lake when Two Legs rampaged through their territories, flattening trees to make space for a new thunder path. With their distant ancestors lost from memory, the clans believed they were the first cats to settle there, forging new paths among the trees and across the windy hills. Everywhere the cats have been, there are layers upon layers of history, some known, some long forgotten, and some discovered in the most unexpected ways, laid down by the paw steps of many generations. What shaped the lives of these proud and noble warriors? Come, walk along them for a while, and listen to their stories. Thunder Clan. Introduction to Thunder Clan. Bluestar speaks. Like all of the clans, Thunder Clan has been shaped by the nature of its home, by the dense forest and prey-rich thickets that lie between its boundaries. My warriors are the most skilled predators of any clan, able to make themselves silent and invisible in order to hunt the tiny furred and feathered creatures that live among us. They can stalk over fallen leaves and brittle twigs without making a sound, and from a standstill they can pounce with enough strength to bring down a full-grown rabbit. We are descended from the cats who are most adept at hunting beneath the trees, who were undaunted by branches blocking out the sky and the need to fight enemies at close quarters when there was no open space in which to escape an attacker. This battling in close quarters gave us courage and confidence in our abilities to feed and defend ourselves, and we knew the forest was the right home for us. It was a warrior code that let us grow as a clan and maintain our beloved forest territory. No clan guards the code as passionately as Thunder Clan. To our dying breath, we know it would protect us from injustice, cruelty, and needless battles. The code tells us to check our boundaries daily and prohibits trespassing or hunting on another clan's territory, and we follow this. The other clans might call us cowards for avoiding constant boulder skirmishes, but we will fight for our territory as fiercely as any of them, just not when a more peaceful answer can be found by obeying the code that we share. When we lived in the forest beside Two Leg Place, our greatest boulder quarrel was with River Clan over Sunning Rocks. When cats first came to the forest, these rocks were an island in the middle of the river, accessible only to those peculiar cats who were willing to swim to it. But the river changed its course, and the rocks were soon attached by dry land to Thunder Clan territory. The only logical conclusion was that they should be absorbed into our boulders. River Clan, those fish-eating mousebrains, insisted that this was unfair and tried bitterly to reclaim Sunning Rocks. We won more of those battles than we lost, which speaks for itself. When my warriors know they are in the right, they will fight like lions. But we also know what it is like to be without the boundaries of a clan. Living so close to Two Leg Place in the forest, we met more kitty pets than the other clans, and had more rogues passing through. I tried to teach my clan to treat these strangers as cats just like us before judging them for where they were born. Compared to some of the dog-hearted warriors clawing at our boulders, there are better cats who have no belief in Star Clan at all. Cats can learn to follow the warrior code, but they cannot always learn to have the compassion or courage that comes from faith. Bluestar. Clan, Thunder Clan. Position, leader. Traits, wise, guarded, commanding, ambitious. Mentors, Stonepelt, Sunstar. Apprentices, Frostfa, Running Wind, Firestar. Leader of Thunder Clan before Firestar, Bluestar was a proud and deeply committed warrior. Once known as Bluefur, her early life was scarred by tragedy. Her mother was killed during a raid on Wind Clan, and her sister, Snowfur, later died in the Thunder Path. Isolated in her grief from her own clanmates, Bluefur fell in love with a River Clan warrior named Oakheart, but their brief relationship ended when Bluefur realized she could not be loyal to ThunderClan while her heart lay elsewhere. Unbeknownst to Bluefur, she was already expecting Oakheart's kids. Bluefur paid the highest possible price for her leadership, giving up her 3 tiny kids in order to become deputy instead of Thistleclaw, whom she feared would destroy ThunderClan with his dark-hearted ambition. Oakheart raised Stonefur and Mistyfoot, the 2 kids who survived, in his own clan. Bluefur told her clanmates that her litter had been stolen by a starving badger, and then overcame her sadness to become deputy and leader as she had hoped. When Bluestar was an apprentice, the ThunderClan medicine cat Goosefeather had delivered a prophecy to her. "You will blaze through the forest like fire. Only water can destroy you." During her leadership, as ThunderClan struggled against its rivals, Bluestar looked to another source of fire, the red-pelted kitty pet Rusty, to save her beloved clan. But Bluestar's murderous deputy Tigerclaw continued to rage against ThunderClan even after becoming leader of ShadowClan. He set a pack of ravenous dogs to raid the camp, and Bluestar gave her 9th life to lead the dogs over the edge of the gorge, dying for the last time in water, just as Goosefeather had foretold. StarClan showed enough mercy that Stonefur and Mistyfoot pulled Bluestar to RiverClan's shore, and her final moments were spent making peace with her surviving children before she went to join her lost daughter, Mosskit, in StarClan. "My clan is all I have now. I will give every breath in my body to serve it," said by Bluestar in Bluestar's prophecy. Pinestar. Clan, ThunderClan. Position, leader. Traits, calm, peaceful, regretful, fair-minded. Mentors, Mistpelt. Pinestar was the leader of ThunderClan when Bluekit, later Bluestar, was born. He was fiercely protective of ThunderClan's boulders and prey, but preferred a show of strength via patrols and words rather than actual conflict. Pinestar was a calm, fair-minded leader, resigned to doing battle with RiverClan over Sunning Rocks, and confident in the abilities of his deputy Sunfall to organize the clan's daily routine. When his medicine cat Goosefeather found a sign that warned WindClan was on the verge of destroying ThunderClan, Pinestar reluctantly agreed to take action, though he knew how much this would cost his clanmates in injuries and even death. Pinestar led the attack on WindClan himself, and the battle turned out to be as bloody as he had feared, with the death of Bluepaw's mother, Moonflower, at the claws of WindClan's warrior-turned-medicine cat, Hogheart. The battle was lost, and Pinestar grew increasingly disillusioned with the violence of clan life. He roamed beyond the boulders of ThunderClan, crossing into Tulek Place and observing the easy lives of the kitty pats who didn't have to risk their lives for food and shelter. Pinestar was befriended by a kitty pet named Jake, who was intrigued by the cats in the woods and had once traveled with Talltail, a warrior from WindClan. Pinestar started to take food from a Tuleg, and gradually life outside the clan became more and more appealing. Before long, he was spotted on one of his Tulek Place visits by a ThunderClan apprentice named Lionpaw. Embarrassed, Pinestar lied that he was engaged in a long battle with a kitty pet and was just pretending to be one himself in order to pass unchallenged through Tulek Place. But yet another invasion of Sunning Rocks by RiverClan made Pinestar realize that he could not spend his last life fighting for every paw step of territory and every mouthful of food. Shaken by a deadly accident and alarmed by dreams that encouraged him to hurt his kid with Leopardfoot, Tigerkit, Pinestar handed over his leadership of his clan to Sunfall, then left to live with his adopted two legs. Pinestar believed he had served his clan loyally and well for 8 long lives, and he deserved some peace at the end. "I have been honored to serve you this long. The rest of my life will be spent as a kitty pet where I have no battles to fight, no lives depending on me for food and safety," said by Pinestar in Bluestar's prophecy. Goosefeather. Clan, ThunderClan. Position, Medicine Cat. Traits, intelligent, hot-tempered, lazy, negative. Mentors, Cloudberry. Apprentices, Featherwhisker. Goosefeather was a medicine cat during Pinestar's leadership of ThunderClan. Goosefeather was a naturally skilled medicine cat, but by old age he became better known for his laziness and sour temper. He took an interest in Bluefur and her sister Snowfur because their mother, Moonflower, was his littermate. Goosefeather had a habit of interpreting omens in the darkest way, and in the end, it was his doom-laden prophecy that led to the battle with WindClan and Moonflower's death. Goosefeather interpreted the flattened fur on a wolf from the fresh kill pile as a sign that WindClan would crush ThunderClan, kill all the warriors and destroy their territory. This left Pinestar with no option but to attack Wind Clan first. A second omen, a shard of catmint on the Vole's flank, was seen by Goosefeather as a warning from Star Clan that they must invade the very heart of Wind Clan, inside their camp, and destroy their supply of herbs. It was a bold plan and ultimately disastrous, leading to death and defeat for the Thunder Clan warriors. Goosefeather was unrepentant, insisting that his omens were correct. Soon after the battle with Wind Clan, a branch was struck by lightning and fell, burning, between Blue Paw and the threatening fox. Rain swiftly extinguished the fire, and Blue Paw and the woods were saved. To Goosefeather, this was a prophecy. Blue Paw would blaze through the forest like fire, quenched only by water. Blue Paw had no inclination to take his words seriously, not after he had trumpeted the battle that killed her mother. From that moment on, Goosefeather retreated into a world of sinister omens, convinced ThunderClan was on the brink of destruction. His clan turned more and more to his apprentice Featherwhisker instead. Goosefeather's final act of madness was to react with horror whenever he was in the presence of Tiger Kid, Pinestar and Leopardfoot's sole remaining son. He feared what Tiger Kid would become so deeply that he had even refused to offer Leopardfoot aid during a kidding. He confided to Bluefur that Tiger Kid should never have been born, and he urged Bluestar to become deputy instead of the ambitious warrior Thistleclaw, whatever it took. Whether he interpreted omens correctly or not, Goosefeather shaped the future of ThunderClan by setting Bluefur on the course of her destiny. I was only interpreting the signs from StarClan, said by Goosefeather in Bluestar's prophecy.